Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinmoye's Biology channel. So today we are here back with the part 2 of sound. So hope you have already gone through the first part of sound, and that is, if you have not gone through that, I'll be putting the link in the description box below. Please do go through it. Then only it will be easier for you to understand this sound part 2. So stay tuned till the end of the lesson because we are going to discuss many important topics in today's episode as well. And today will be the final and the concluding episode of sound. So let's get started. So what we are going to study today, the first we will be studying about the amplitude, time period and frequency of vibration. Then we are going to study about audible and inaudible sounds. Then comes noise pollution, and then comes what are the harmful effects of noise pollution and what are the measures to limit the noise pollution. So these all we are going to learn today. So let's start with amplitude, time period and frequency of vibration. So here we are with the amplitude, the time period and frequency of vibration. So we have learned that the to and fro motion is called vibration. So that is something which is moving to and fro. This is called the vibration. So this is also called as the oscillatory motion, right? So something which is oscillating. So this is called oscillatory motion as well. So now you have already learned in earlier classes about the oscillatory motion and its time period. Okay, so number of oscillations or this oscillatory motion which happens in per second is called the frequency. So the number of oscillations which are happening per second is called the frequency of oscillation. Just make it clear, what is the frequency of oscillation? Number of oscillations in a second is called the frequency of oscillation, and which is expressed in hertz. So its a symbol is hertz, is Hz, and the frequency of 1 hertz is 1 oscillation per second. Okay, so the frequency is 1 hertz is 1 oscillation per second. Now if an object oscillates 20 times in a second, so its frequency would be 20 hertz. Okay, so 1 oscillation, 1 hertz in 1 oscillation per second. If an object oscillates 20 times in 1 second, what would be the frequency? Its frequency will be 20 hertz. So it's a clear cut calculation, you can say. So is it clear? Now you can recognize many similar sounds without seeing objects which are producing them. So how it is possible? How you can recognize those sounds? So have you ever thought of the factors, what makes them different? So what are the factors? Just now we have spoken about the frequency, the hertz, oscillation and all. So amplitude and frequency are two important properties of any sound. So can we differentiate sounds on the basis of amplitude and frequencies? Now let us see that. Now we will see about the loudness and pitch. So what is loudness and what is pitch? We will understand that. Now here comes the activity which will show us that the difference between loudness and pitch. Now what we can do, you can take a metallic tumbler like this and a tablespoon. Okay, now strike the tablespoon gently at the brim of the tumbler. So this is the brim of the tumbler. You can tap the tablespoon gently at the brim of the tumbler. Okay, so hear the sound produced. You just need to hear and observe the sound which is produced. Now bang the spoon on the tumbler. First you are tapping the spoon, then you are banging the spoon. Okay, and hear the sound produced again. So is the sound louder when the tumbler is struck hard? Obviously the sound is louder when the tumbler is struck hard. Now suspend a small thermocol ball touching the rim of the tumbler. Okay, so vibrate the tumbler by striking it. Now you are placing here a thermocol ball. Okay, with that you are just striking the tumbler. Okay, touching the rim of the tumbler. Vibrate the tumbler by striking it. See how far the ball is displaced. Okay, you should see how far the displacement of the ball is happening. So the displacement of the ball is the measure of the amplitude of vibration. So the tumbler is vibrating. If you are placing a thermocol ball here, you should see how much this thermocol ball is getting displaced. So this displacement is the measurement of the amplitude of vibration of the tumbler. Now, strike the tumbler gently and then a little harder. Compare the amplitudes of vibrations of the tumbler in the two cases. So, how it is vibrating, what are the differences in the amplitudes of the tumbler in two cases, you can see. So, in which case it is larger. Okay, so the vibration, the amplitude is larger when you are hitting the tumbler harder. When you are hitting the tumbler gently, the amplitude is always lower and it is producing less sound, or you can say the loudness of the sound is lesser. And when you are hitting it harder, the amplitude or the loudness of the sound is higher. Okay, is it clear to all of you? It's a bit complicated, but when we move further, it will be easier for you. Now we have come to this part. This is very important. So loudness of the sound is proportional to the square of the amplitude of vibration. Okay, so loudness if you are taking it as L, is proportional to the square of amplitude of vibration. It is proportional to the square of amplitude of vibration. Okay, it is proportional to the square of amplitude of vibration. Now, if the amplitude becomes twice, the loudness increases by the factor of 4. So, if the amplitude is becoming twice, so the loudness increases to a factor of 4. The loudness is expressed in the form of decibel. So, when someone is playing loud music, you will tell that it is crossing the decibel limit. So, that is the loudness expressed as the unit of decibel. The following table gives us an idea of the coming sound from various sources. So, let us see these things. So, let us see what are the decibels of normal breathing. So, for normal breathing, it is 10 decibel. Soft whisper, it is 30 decibel. Normal conversation, 60 decibel. Busy traffic, it is 70 decibel. And average factory is 80 decibel. So, above 80 decibel, the noise becomes physically painful. Okay, so the loudness of sound depends on its amplitude. When the amplitude of the vibration is very large, the sound produced is always loud. When the amplitude is small, the sound produced is feeble. So, it depends on the amplitude only. We have told you that loudness depends on the amplitude. Now, compare the sound of a baby with that of an adult. Is there any difference? Even if two sounds are equally loud, they differ in the same way, in some way. So let us see. I wonder why my voice is different from that of my teacher. So this is Bujo. He is having a question why it is different from his teacher. So that is what? That is a difference in pitch. The frequency determines the shrillness or the pitch of a sound. So if the frequency of vibration is higher, we say that the sound is shrill and at a higher pitch. So the frequency should be, if the frequency of vibration should be higher to have a higher pitch. So more the frequency of vibration, more will be the pitch. So higher the pitch will be there. So if the frequency of vibration is lower, we can say the sound has a lower pitch. Okay, so we say that the sound has a lower pitch. For example, a drum vibrates with a low frequency. Okay, and therefore it produces a low pitch sound. Whereas a whistle, if you are blowing, you can see this fellow is blowing a whistle. It is having a very high frequency and it produces a sound which is having higher pitch, which is shrill to our ears. When you are beating a drum, the frequency is lower and it is a low pitch sound, and it is soothing to our ears. But when you are whistling, that is high frequency and therefore it produces a higher pitch. Okay, a bird makes a high pitched sound, whereas a lion makes a low pitched roar. However, the roar of a lion is very loud while the sound of a bird is quite feeble. Though the pitch is low in case of a lion roaring, but the sound is there, the sound of the roar of the lion is much higher, louder than that of a bird, sound of a bird, right? So every day we hear such voices of children and adults. Do you find any difference in their voices? Obviously, we are having a difference in the voice of a woman is of a higher frequency than that of a man, because the frequency of a man voice is low pitched, but that of a woman is high pitched and it is much more shriller. It will you if women's are loudly it's shouting loudly, you will feel a shrill voice in your ears. So it is much more higher frequency and having a shriller and high pitched voice than that of a man. Now we will move on to the audible and inaudible sounds. Now here comes audible and inaudible sounds. So we know that we need a vibrating body for the production of sound. So from the beginning we are saying that only when vibration is caused, sound is produced. So can we hear the sounds of all vibrating bodies around us? So the fact is that sounds of frequencies less than 20 vibrations per second, that is less than 20 hertz, they cannot be detected by the human ear. So 20 vibrations per second, if it is happening, that is 20 hertz, below 20 hertz, it can't be audible by the human ear. Okay, such sounds are called inaudible sounds. Okay, so sounds which are not audible. On the higher side, sounds of frequencies higher than 20,000 vibrations, that is 20 kilohertz, are also not audible to human ear. So thus, for human ear, the range of audible frequencies roughly from 20 to 20,000 hertz. Okay, so on the higher side, the frequency is about 20,000 vibrations. They are also not audible. So what is happening? There is a range from 20 to 20,000 hertz. That range is human ear. Roughly the human ear, the range varies from 20 to 20,000 hertz. But some animals can hear the sound of 20,000 hertz, though it is inaudible to human ear. So dogs have this ability. The police use high frequency whistles which the dogs can hear but the humans cannot. Okay, so there are several sounds which the ear of a dog can hear, but the human ear is not able to hear those sounds. The ultrasound equipment familiar to us for investigating and tracking many medical problems works at the frequencies higher than 20,000 hertz. So we have got the range from 20 to 20,000 hertz. It is inaudible category for human ear. But for dogs, they are having the ability to hear the sounds which are, we can say, lower than this 20,000 hertz as well. Okay, so what is noise and what is music? So we have studied now audible and inaudible sounds. Now what is noise and what is music? So we hear different types of sounds around us. Now is sound always pleasing? No. So does a sound coming from a construction work site going in your neighborhood, it is pleasing to your ears? No, it's just annoying. It causes irritation, headache and all. So do you enjoy the sounds which are produced by the horns of buses and trucks? Not at all. These are unpleasant sounds and this is called noise. Okay, in a classroom when all the students they speak together, what would be the sound produced called? It is obviously the noise. On the other hand, you enjoy sounds from such musical instruments. Musical sound is one which is pleasing to our ear. When you are listening to tabla, guitar, harmonium, flute, any musical instrument, so sound produced by a harmonium is a musical sound. A string of sitar also gives out a musical sound. But if a musical sound becomes too loud, it remains melodious as well. So if it is, we can say that if it is exceeding the decibel limit also, at times it may create irritation, but then also it's a musical melodious sound only. Okay. So now comes noise pollution. So what is noise pollution? We have already learnt about air pollution. So now let us start reading this. So you already know about air pollution, presence of certain unwanted gases and particles. It is air pollution, right? Similarly, presence of excessive and unwanted sounds in the environment is called noise pollution. So whatever is unwanted in the environment, whether it is unwanted gases or particles which is causing air pollution, like that only unwanted sounds present in the environment is called noise pollution. So you can make a list of things, sources which are causing noise pollution, such as vehicles, explosions including bursting of crackers, machines, loudspeakers, etc. So what sources in home may lead to noise? Now, if you are listening television or transistor or radio at high volumes, some kitchen appliances like mixers and all, they create huge amount of noise pollution. Desert coolers, air conditioners, all contribute to noise pollution. Okay, so these are the noise pollutions at home only. So what are the harms of noise pollution? So when excessive noise is there in your surrounding, it may cause certain health problem. So what are the health problem? You may have lack of sleep, hypertension, anxiety, and many more health disorders, right? It may be caused by noise pollution. A person who is exposed to loud sound continuously may have temporary or even permanent hearing impairment. Okay, so he or she is exposed to constant loud noise, and it may cause permanent impairment of hearing. So what are the measures to limit noise pollution? To control noise, we must control the sources of noise. So how can this be achieved? For this, silencing the devices must be insisted or installed in aircraft engine, transport vehicles, industrial machines, and as well as certain home appliances where certain silencing devices should be installed. And how can noise pollution be controlled in a residential area? So all noisy operations must be conducted away from residential area. So use of loud microphone during festivals and all should be prohibited. No industry should be set up in residential areas. Use of automobile horn should be minimized. TV, music system should be run at very low volumes, and trees must be planted along the roads around the buildings to cut down on the sounds reaching the residents, now thus causing the reduce in the noise pollution. Now we will put a little bit of stress on this hearing impairment. So when it comes to hearing impairment, we can say that total hearing impairment, which is very rare and it is usually from the birth itself, but partial disability is generally, it can be due to any injury or any disease, or when a person is 80 or 90 above, there are certain changes in the middle ear and internal ear which are irreplaceable. So a person should take hearing aids. So at that stage, at an aging person, they can have certain hearing impairment as well. Now children with impaired hearing need special care, because by learning sign language they should communicate effectively, because once the hearing part is affected, a person is unable to talk. So once you hear, then only you can learn to speak. So because speech develops as a direct result of hearing, a child with a hearing loss may have defective speech as well. So technological devices for hearing impaired have made it possible for such persons to improve their quality of life. So society can do much to improve the living environment for the hearing impaired and help them to live normal lives. So you should accept themselves in your society, in your life, and help them to use their sign languages to communicate with you all. You should try your best to understand that. So this is all about your sound lesson. All have been completed in this lesson. So let us see what all key words we have gone through. We have studied about amplitude, eardrum, frequency, hertz, larynx, loudness, noise, oscillation, pitch, time period, vibration, voice box, windpipe. So these are the important things we have gone through. So please do the exercises as it has been given in your NCERT book. Go through the exercises. If you are not getting any answers as I have taught you, so then you can ask me in the comment box. I'll be discussing in the next class as well. So as of now, this is the complete session of sound. In 2 sessions I have completed sound. So please go through the first part as well as this part completely. Your sound will be completed totally. If you have not gone through the previous part, I'll put the link in the description box. So subscribe to my channel for more interesting episodes. Stay tuned, stay updated with all the lessons which I'm posting. Thank you. Thanks a lot for watching.